Hi there, this is Solitary Ronan from Solitary Ronan Films, and welcome to another episode of One Director, Four Films. Today's director is Maskai Kobayashi, a filmmaker that I haven't seen all of his films or a lot of his films, but I've seen enough. He certainly has, if I ever do a director ranking, he certainly has went up, skyrocketed up the list for a couple of reasons I'll go into. So again, this series is all about you, the audience, to let me know the fundamental film of a filmmaker. What is the film you would show somebody who's never seen a Maskai Kobayashi film? Your favourite Kobayashi film, an underrated gem, and a flounder, a film that just didn't land with you, didn't resonate with you as much as others. Now I will say, very much like Kubrick with underrated gem or unseen gem, with Kubrick that doesn't really exist. And for me, for Kobayashi, the limited films that I've seen, none of them are flounders. So for that category, I'm just going to pick the film that I liked slightly less than all the other ones. But maybe you'll have a better answer for that. I mean, the fundamental Kobayashi film is, for me, no surprise, and it's not even close. It's one of the fundamental films of cinema and perhaps all art forms itself. And that is, of course, The Human Condition. Yes, I am ashamed it took this long for me to actually see it. But again, The Human Condition is one of those desert island films. If you were sending 10 films into space to prove that human beings aren't a complete waste of time, The Human Condition by Kobayashi would be one of those films. I think everybody watching probably knows all you need to know about it. Great central character who's not perfect, who makes mistakes, which is rare for quote unquote heroes of stories. Proving that no matter what ideology they've taken to the extreme, doesn't really work. Beautifully shot, with one of the great central performances by Tatsuya Nakadai. Human Condition is a fundamental film, period. Now, my favourite, just for the purposes of this exercise, I'm going to go with Kwai-Dan. Seeing this on my wall, projected, seeing this on as big a screen as possible, is quite an event, quite a feeling you get. When I got this Eureka set, because it was an upgrade rather than a backlog item, I said, oh yeah, I'm just going to put it on, see what the print's like. I'm not going to watch it. And 3 hours later I'd watched it. It just flies by because you're immersed in these worlds that Kobayashi creates. One of the most colourful colour films of all time. Just atmospheric. And again, just transports you into the screen. And you just go into that world for 3 hours. And it's absolutely beautiful. Also, I could have picked another film is my favourite, but I'm picking Kwai-Dan. Now, for the underrated gem, I could have picked any of these. This is the Kobayashi Against the System Criterion DVD set. Sadly, I don't believe any of these are on Blu-ray. They may be on Blu-ray in Japan. So this is 4 films that are, perhaps all 4 aren't the masterpieces that he's most famous for, but they're not far off. So again, I could have picked any of these. The Thick-Walled Room, I Will Buy You, Black River, and The Inheritance. They're all fabulous. They're all wonderful. But for the underrated gem, I've picked The Thick-Walled Room. I think this was one of his films that was delayed and shelved for 3 years because of the content. It's about soldiers after World War II being kept in prison before they were actually released back. It's brutal. It's quite moving, based on the writings of B and C class war criminals. But again, any of these 4 films I could have picked as an underrated gem, because again, these ones just aren't as famous as his masterpieces. But again, these are not that far off from being 5-star films themselves. I don't give halves, but probably 3 out of the 4 in this set would be 4.5s if I did. But I don't, for obvious reasons, because that's ridiculous, giving half marks. So my flounder, and as I said at the top, this isn't really a flounder. This is just the one out of these 4 films that I don't like as much as the other 3. And I'm going with Black River, which again is bleak and cynical post-war Japan and the kind of moral deprivation that the occupation left in Japan. This stars Nakadai in his first film, obviously before he would work again with Kobayashi in The Human Condition. It's about real estate, low-life criminals. It's a kind of noir. Again, beautifully shot, beautifully acted. But for me, I just don't like it as much as the other 3 in this set. But again, it's still a 4-star film, so it's not really the quintessential flounder or the quintessential film that I don't really resonate with. It's just not quite as good as The Thick-Walled Room, I Will Buy You, or The Inheritance. I could recommend all 4 of them. If you can get your hands on this set, it's an absolutely essential purchase because all the films are just absolutely excellent. But for the purposes of this exercise, Black River is just a tiny little notch below the other 3. So thanks very much for watching. That's my choices. Of course, I want to see your choices. So your fundamental Kobayashi, your favourite Kobayashi, an underrated gem by Kobayashi, and the Kobayashi film you don't quite like as much as other ones. So thanks so much for watching. I look forward to your comments. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying farewell.